Aloha, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Unapologetically Lee. I am Lee, and I'm just going to see what Spirit's message or what Spirit has for us today as a collective. Excuse me, and I'm not going to plan it. I'm just going to allow the energy to run through me. And it's so interesting. Anyways, so the first word I hear is joy, and finding your joy again. And to be able to find your joy, you need to tap into your inner child. And I feel resistance within that because society has deemed children as something to be taught, as little beings that don't know anything. And I would like to beg to differ on that and challenge that thought. Spirit came to me with a message a while back saying that children are going to lead the way. And I truly believe in that because I feel like this planet, this life is like a playground. And we need to remember how to play, to be curious, to have a sense of wonder and to bring that joy out again. And the thing that makes me think that that's the key into having a fulfilling and high vibrational life is because of my own children. Excuse me. And how much joy they have and how much they're enjoying life and living in the moment, and all of the spiritual teachings and ways of doing things. It's all based on like a child's wonder, and joy and presence, and how they are just so pure and protected by Spirit. Granted, there are some children that are very sensitive and they pick up on the dense energies around them, and they reflect it back to the adults around them, especially with the parent that they feel most comfortable with. Anyways, and I hear also heal the inner child, and allowing that healing work to come through, allowing that inner child to feel safe to do what he or she wants to do with no guilt or shame of making a mess or of being too much. And a lot of our traumas come through childhood because we were shunned, we were being too much, we were too loud, we were, our creativity, our expressions were too much, and it created a lot of messiness and shame and guilt in that. And I know as a parent that I struggled with that, having so much control. But now, as I am healing my inner child wounds, I'm starting to see that everything is temporary. Like messes can be cleaned up, no problem. It's just we need to just ask for help and have all hands on deck. And it doesn't have to be just the mom or just the dad or the parent or guardian or whoever it is to clean up. It takes a village. And to remember that your inner child is the key to the abundance that you are looking for. And when you tap into your inner child, like I'm tapping into my inner child right now, and she has so much joy and excitement for life and wanting to experience everything unapologetically, and not caring what other people think. And children usually don't have filters, and until an adult tells them or shames them, right? Telling them that's not okay, right? And then it shapes their thinking. And to be honest, like, being an adult is boring. Yes, we have the ability to make money and like have quote unquote more freedom or whatever, but are we truly free? You know what I mean? When we're making that money, when we're in the machine of money generating, if that makes sense. And I mean, if you are, I mean, I'm still trying to figure it out too. Like, how do I get out of this cycle of depending on external influences? How can I create money for myself, or the abundance I'm looking for, so that I can survive in this physical world, right? And I also question, like, are we ever going to switch out of this physical dependency, if you could say? And to be honest, like, I just hear it's a game. You know what I mean? You have to figure out, it's like a cheat code. You have to find your own cheat code in how to manipulate your situation to make it work for you, if that makes sense. And I'm still learning, and I'm still learning how to manipulate my situation so that it's working for me. But in the meantime, I am enjoying and having a fun time, doing what I do, and like living life and trying to find joys within the daily mundane life, and also listening to my body whenever it needs rest, then rest. But the inner child work is so important. Like, just tapping into your inner child and asking him or her, how are you doing today? What do you need from me? And your inner child lives in your heart. That is your heart space. And it's a balance between the masculine, the upper chakras, and the lower chakras, the feminine, right? It's the combination of spirit knowledge and also earthly knowledge and earthly understandings. And I just hear that the inner child just wants to play and have fun and laugh and like just take things so lightly, you know what I mean? And a lot of the human constructs just makes it so dense and heavy. And I know that things are going wrong right now in the world, but sometimes you just gotta find like the light within the darkness, because if you don't, you're gonna get stuck in the darkness and you're going to stay there. And that's not what your inner child wants to do. Your inner child, I just see the inner child just being in the dark, just like playing like this, like, woo, what's gonna happen, and then just like run. And it's almost like the inner child wants to play hide and seek, right? And he or she, or whatever you identify with, just wants to play and just thinks it's so fun being in the dark. And granted, yes, shadow work is hard. Oh boy, it takes so much energy to move that. But if you just like kind of laugh at it and just say, oh man, oh boy, this dense energy that I've been holding on to, this how do you say, this pattern that I've been holding on to, why have I been holding on to this? It's been slowing me down, and kind of laugh at it, and yeah, and try to make life a little bit lighter for yourself. We have this programming that we think that life has to be so serious. It's already hard enough. Why are we making it harder on ourselves? When, me being a parent, and I think that's when life became difficult for me, is because I became a mother, and I had these roles that I put on myself because I was a mother. I had to be in charge of these little beings. Yes, I have to be concerned of their safety, but I don't have to be so serious about it. I can let go of the reins a little bit and provide that safety structure for them. Making sure that I am able to do as much as I can, but also trust and have faith that Spirit and God and their angels and their guardians are going to protect them, and I pray over them, practically every day, asking for their protection and to guide them and to lead them to joy and peace and happiness. I feel like that's the goal of all humanity, is to find peace and joy within this crazy world of duality where there's dark and light. And how do we alchemize the dark? And how do we raise our or brighten our light through the darkness? It's beautiful. I mean, yes, there are times when you just want to wallow in your sorrows, but is it really serving you? I mean, I've been there. I've been there, and those cognitive distortions are really dense. I mean, it's hard, but we have to remember that the cognitive distortions, those negative thinking patterns, the all for nothing or the black and white thinking, isn't all that there is. It is the matrix, it is the system, it is whatever you want to call it, the higher, like, this 3D playground is trying to keep us lower. So the game is for us to rise as much as we can. And yes, it's going to be like this. You're going to have your ups, you're going to be flying high, and then you're going to have your lows, because those lows are going to propel you up even higher, because every stage, because once we pass a certain stage, it's no longer fun, if that makes sense. And the thing is, like, it has to be up and down because it makes life interesting, right? I laugh at it because, like, when you're in it, it's so hard. You just like want it. For me, when I'm in my shadow work and darkest stages, I don't feel pity for myself. I just allow myself to cry, and I feel the emotions wanting to come out, to be purged out. Allow yourself the grace to purge it out, but don't live in it. Your inner child, just when I think about my son, and I feel like he's a reflection of my inner child, and I'm so grateful that he came into my life because he reminds me of my inner child. And if you can, look at those children around you as your own inner child. Whenever he is hurt, or whenever he, emotionally gets affected by either me or my partner, then all he needs is a hug, a connection to your higher self, or your divine feminine or your divine masculine. And in my sense, I just hold space, just holding space for that inner child to cry, to weep, to rage, to be angry, to be frustrated, and not be ashamed of it. And also to make the mess. Life is messy, and allow that inner child to make a messy life if he or she chooses to. And to give compassion to your inner child, because it's all about healing the inner child, and to provide a safety net. I hear a safety net and a bubble around that creative source, because children are just a beacon of creativity and divine presence and source. If you have a chance, if you just are present with them, then it shows. You will feel how pure they are, and try to emulate that. I know society has taught us that the adults have to teach the children. I want to challenge ourselves and like, and put it out there. Maybe the kids have to teach us, you know, like they have to reteach us how to enjoy life again and how to live a beautiful and fulfilling life. What does that look like as an adult again? Anyways, and I feel like, yeah, if you can, and the things, it's interesting how those files are coming up right now, and about those horrible people, and what spirit is telling me is like, those people are, granted, you know, I feel like that they are not human, and that they have lost their soul connection to spirit. But anyways, the reason why they are externally, you know, attaching themselves to the children is because they have lost their connection to their inner child. And that's why they need, like, if you have those dark urges, know that it's a sign that it's not what you think. It's you're trying to reconnect with your inner child, you know, and trying to see and heal and let go. It's like so warped. It's so interesting. Anyways, I'm going down the rabbit hole. Anyways, and it's really dark right now. So I feel like this video, I don't want to go down that hole. Maybe another time. But anyways, it's just being in the presence of children. There's so much joy and happiness and curiosity and wonder and creativity. I just see like rainbows and sunshine and just like patches of like beautiful grass, and it's just so beautiful, which is why I was a teacher, because I enjoyed it. But at the same time, because I was a teacher, I had certain goals that the students had to learn, and it's so sad that the education system is going that way. And I'm praying that the system is going to change, or there's going to be an alternative to that way. Yes, we do need to learn how to read, write, and add, but does it actually have to be the whole day? No, to be honest, like as an educator, a former educator who is enlightened, it doesn't have to be the whole day. I feel like it can be like 30 minutes or something for each subject, and then we play. We play with life, and we play with magic, right? Just the organic magic of life, you know, and just feeling the energies around us and manipulating the energies within our mind. And I cannot wait until the day, I hope I'm still alive and I hear a yes, where I can manipulate something and it comes out in the physical. I see it in the quantum already, because I can go between both physical and the quantum. But anyways, that's another video. But anyways, the key to having a fulfilling and abundant and joyful life is to heal your inner child. Allow yourself to play, connect with him or her, and that is your higher self. You know, the inner child is the key to higher self and to spirit and to God, right? Is that imagination, the unlimited, the infinite possibilities of life, you know, and the beautiful colors. I just, because I'm deeply connected to my inner child. I still have such a huge imagination in my head right now that I just see her just painting with different colors, with pinks and purples, and she's going at it. And allow your inner child to roam free. She or he does not need to be caged in. She needs, I'm sorry, I'm speaking in terms of like me, you know, but the inner child needs to be set free. They need to be able to like create, give space for the child to create, you know, and get messy. because, you know, as adults, it's okay. We know how to clean. You know, we know the most effective way to clean and the most effective way to like do things now. So it's okay. There's no one to tell us to stop. So allow your inner child to come out and play a little bit and see what happens. All right, beautiful souls. Until next time. Bye.